I have a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. Hey, hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
I want to be clear that you should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely hire intimacy coordinators, which we did have.
Well,
thank
you
goodness.
were teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you seen this?
It appears that Justin Baldoni has delivered a major bombshell to Blake Lively by exposing that she allegedly tried to bribe him into dropping his lawsuit because she realizes the case is no longer turning in her favor. And for the past few weeks, Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds have reportedly been using their influence to pressure the media into discrediting Justin and shaping public opinion in their favor. But new details recently surfaced showing that Blake not only used her power to push Justin off his own movie and claim the director's chair for herself, but also attempted to persuade him to abandon the lawsuit against her and Ryan by allegedly offering him $10 million, leaving fans questioning what Blake's true strategy actually is and wondering how Justin's team plans to respond to these explosive revelations as the drama continues unfolding.
More evidence that she wasn't quite telling the truth. And that is also a horrendous thing, absolutely horrendous. And is she really that arrogant that she thought she could get away with this? I've talked to a few people about this, and they really are of the belief that the money and the power that her and Ryan Reynolds have has probably made them a little bit deluded in thinking that they could bully their way through this situation.
Justin Baldoni has reportedly been keeping a very low profile ever since his legal battle with Blake Lively began, and he was recently seen relaxing with his family in Hawaii. On Saturday, February 15th, Justin was spotted holding the hands of his children, 9-year-old Maya and 7-year-old Maxwell, while he and his wife Emily stepped out for a quiet family lunch. According to multiple reports, Justin is staying out of the spotlight because of the ongoing case and wants to avoid drawing any negative attention toward himself or his loved ones. Meanwhile, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been busy mingling with Hollywood's biggest stars at red carpet events and constantly making headlines with their lighthearted, sometimes corny live broadcast jokes. Blake and Ryan recently became the center of online chatter after attending Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special, where they appeared to be having the absolute time of their lives, although many people felt they were overdoing it, especially when Ryan slipped in a playful little joke about their current legal situation with Justin.
Question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. Hey, hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
In her lawsuit against Justin, Blake claimed that she was suffering severe emotional distress because of everything Justin put her through while they were on set, and she has also been going around claiming that Justin started a smear campaign against her, and because of that she has become kind of like an outcast to the elite society. But from her appearance on SNL, it doesn't look like she's facing any serious backlash like she's claiming she is, and sure, there are some people online who have been saying things about her, but online talk doesn't always translate to real life, and in Blake's case, it doesn't look like it did. Yet that's not the worst of all, because Ryan faced some serious backlash after his little joke about the whole thing, since a lot of people felt like he was making light of a very serious situation. And apart from all the online gimmicks and Stan Wars, the truth is that this case is so serious that it could ruin the lives of the people involved depending on how it goes. So many people feel like Ryan joking around about it is very insensitive, but here's the kicker, because according to sources, Justin Baldoni's legal team is not about to let Ryan and Blake get away with that little stunt, and an insider revealed to Page 6 that Justin's legal team is planning to use Ryan's joke as part of his defense. And they said it's very plausible that Justin's legal team will use this public outing to defend him, adding that Justin is taking the lawsuit with full seriousness and isn't making a public mockery out of it. And the insider also revealed that people in Hollywood think Blake and Ryan attending the SNL 50th anniversary show was not a good look, and they believe the couple should have sat this one out. And obviously nobody is saying Blake and Ryan need to pause their lives or go around looking depressed because of a lawsuit, but being seen happily mingling with the biggest celebrities in Hollywood when you're supposedly in emotional anguish over the things you claim were done to you is not exactly a good look. Yet sit tight, because it gets much messier, since allegedly Justin just filed a bombshell in court exposing Blake Lively for offering him $10 million to drop the case against him. And this isn't just your average out-of-court settlement either, because according to sources, Blake offered Justin this money as hush money, so he wouldn't reveal some damning evidence he has against her, which apparently is his next step in court. And 2. Start with Blake was exposed for falsifying HR complaints that were made to Sony by Blake and other actresses on the show, accusing Justin of being inappropriate with them. And one of the complaints claimed that Mr. Baldoni put his bare hands on her butt and said he was trying to help with her posture. And when the alleged victim complained that she was not okay with Justin touching her that way, he allegedly said, "It's fine, I'm totally hot for my wife," in a dismissive tone. And the victims told Justin that it didn't matter what his relationship with his wife was like, because that didn't give him the right to be inappropriate with her. But Justin allegedly responded by saying, "Oh no, better go see HR." And then a few hours later, he came back to apologize, telling her he was sorry they got off on the right foot. To which the complainant replied that he definitely got off all right, but it had nothing to do with his feet. And there were also supposedly screenshots of texts where the actress wrote to her agent saying that Justin just literally grabbed her, but in front of the cameras, and that she wanted to talk to someone at Sony immediately. And another screenshot showed a summary of 3 different complaints filed by one actress accusing Justin of acting weird with her, including an incident where she was in a car with Justin and a driver when he allegedly started talking about how he had been severely addicted to corn and had X encounters where he didn't take no for an answer or didn't receive consent before acting. But apparently that didn't stop him, and the actress then kicked him out of the car and told him her rear-facing dash camera had captured the entire thing. In another complaint, Justin allegedly kept pressuring the actress to act nude in a scene that did not require her to be fully undressed, and his justification was supposedly that his wife had ripped her clothes off during childbirth, something later proven false. But Justin allegedly didn't want to hear no and refused to allow the actress to cover herself while broadcasting her live to multiple screens on set. And that wasn't even all, because in yet another complaint, Justin allegedly asked the actress if she had ever had an orgasm on camera, and when she questioned why that was necessary since there was no scene requiring it, he leaned in close and told her that he thought they should add it in, and said, "Show me what you've got." And although she told him she didn't want to do the scene, he insisted she was delaying filming by refusing. And she was then forced to improvise while Justin allegedly placed his hand on her thighs, saying, "Come on, you can do better than that." And he leaned so close she could feel his breath as he said he was allowed to say such things because his wife knew exactly what he thought about a good climax, before winking and asking if she knew how hot the situation was. Some of these alleged complaints were clearly filed by Blake Lively, though the redacted names make absolute confirmation impossible, and if any of them are real, then they would support Blake's claims that Justin did at least some of what she accused him of. But most people online weren't buying the leaked HR documents and believed Blake and Ryan fabricated them to make Justin look worse. And honestly, there were many red flags. For instance, why were the dates redacted? While hiding names makes sense to protect identities, hiding dates does not, because if you wanted to prove Justin behaved inappropriately on set, then showing the timeline would strengthen your claims, yet those details were missing. In addition, Blake's own lawsuit contradicts the HR documents, because in her filing she said she told a Sony representative she wanted to submit an HR complaint against Justin and his business partner Jamie Heath. But the Sony rep told her Sony did not handle those complaints and said she should instead contact Wayfarer, the studio in charge of production, which then raises the question of where these supposed Sony complaints even came from. Another issue is that Blake did not include any of these HR complaints in her initial lawsuit, and if someone truly had proof that they had been reporting a person's inappropriate behavior for a long time, it would only make sense to include that evidence from the start to increase credibility. But releasing it now after facing massive backlash just makes her look suspicious rather than believable.
Posted in August of last year, Blake Lively went to Sony Studios and said, "If you don't go for my cut of this movie, my version of this movie, I will go out in the New York Times and accuse Justin Baldoni of harassment." And as we know, that is what happened at a later point. But if this is true, that she threatened Sony back then to go to the New York Times and accuse Justin Baldoni of these things, that is pretty
According to sources, Blake is scrambling to find anything that can damage Justin's reputation or pressure him into backing down from the case, because she knows she won't come out on top if this ends up going to trial. And Blake has been making some poorly calculated decisions since the entire drama began, starting with bullying Justin into letting her edit the movie script whenever and however she wanted. And when he didn't approve of her ideas, she labeled herself she and threatened to unleash her dragons, meaning her husband Ryan and her best friend Taylor Swift, on him. Yet he still apologized and tried to reassure her that her suggestions were valued.
And how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I fucked up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I'm a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm going to fuck up. I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to put my foot in my mouth. I'm going to piss you off, probably, but I will always apologize and find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. And I will for sure do better. That was not my best weekend, and I should have given it more time. And damn right, you got great friends if that's how you felt and they knew that. And we should all have friends like that, aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet. The three of you guys together is unbelievable. Talk about energy, just a force.
Blake allegedly didn't stop there, because as if things weren't already messy enough, she reportedly began plotting to push Justin out of the movie altogether by going behind his back to speak with Colleen Hoover, the author of the book, about creating a sequel. And there are even rumors that this entire lawsuit is a strategic attempt to damage Justin's reputation and force him out of the director's chair, since that would be the only way Blake could gain the rights to make a prequel or sequel to It Ends With Us. As most people already know, Justin owns all the movie rights to the book, but if he is found guilty of something as serious as workplace misconduct, those rights automatically revert back to Sony and Colleen Hoover, which would then make it much easier for Blake to purchase them. But that still wasn't everything, because Blake claimed Justin launched a smear campaign against her, even though she was the one who reportedly went to the New York Times with details of the lawsuit before it was even filed, and pushed them to publish a propaganda-style article against him.
Talk about some things now that he has filed his complaint in his suit against the New York Times. Guys, my opinion stands is that I will not be making decisions or assumptions until we have gotten to the case, because what the heck is happening? So Blake Lively made some very specific allegations saying that Justin Baldoni had come to her trailer when she was topless, and Justin Baldoni had then showed us the text messages where she asks him to come to her trailer, and he also shows how open she was to be breastfeeding in front of other cast and crew. And so this seemed like normal to him. First of all, I believe him there. And like I said in my last video, I've never been convinced of the slander campaign. I have always been convinced that that was organic, because it wasn't these fake or false articles. It was literally people showing footage of Blake Lively by herself. Like, it was just her own downfall. Justin has then showed the text to his PR team where he's like, this isn't us, right? Like, what is this? And they're like, no, this is just organic. Another big thing is that Justin Baldoni proved that in the New York Times article, they not only cherry-picked text messages, but they actually altered the text messages themselves, and he showed the originals versus what they posted, which is just, like, ridiculous. It's one thing to cherry pick. I feel like that's to be expected, especially when you feel like that maybe Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively paid off a friend at the New York Times. I expected that, but to see them actually change it, I think is pretty ridiculous.
She also alleged that Justin made her feel uneasy while they were filming certain moments, including the dance scene, but when the raw footage of that scene was released, it revealed something completely different, showing that Blake and Justin were actually talking comfortably and even playfully flirting with each other, not behaving the way Blake had originally claimed.
Let's score another.
I'm not getting beard on you today.
I'm probably getting a spray tan on you.
It smells good.
Well, it's not bad. It's my body makeup.
According to Blake, there was no intimacy coordinator, and Justin made her feel uncomfortable during certain intimate scenes, yet she herself admitted that she chose to take on the role of intimacy coordinator for the show.
To be clear that you should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely hire intimacy coordinators, which we did have.
Well,
thank
you
goodness.
were teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you
love
seen
that.
this?
That
I
clip?
actually just saw it too. It was on Instagram yesterday, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, you know, romance is really important. You're supposed to, you know, tell a story.
In his lawsuit, Justin claimed that there actually was an intimacy coordinator on set, but Blake was the one who chose not to work with them, which forced Baldoni to meet with the coordinator alone and relay any suggestions to Lively separately. And despite Baldoni's reluctance, he and Lively later sketched out scenes together without the intimacy coordinator present. And during these creative sessions, they worked to personalize their characters while engaging in conversations about their own experiences, and Blake allegedly even insisted that Justin come to her penthouse to write certain scenes together, which raises the question, if she was genuinely uncomfortable working with him, why would she invite him to her home to work on explicit material without an intimacy coordinator? At this point, it increasingly seems that Blake is trying to avoid the consequences of her own actions, as she was the one promoting her hair care line during the film's press rounds, and also promoted her new alcohol beverage brand while promoting a movie about domestic violence, fully aware that alcohol can exacerbate such issues. Whatever Blake's strategy or endgame may be, the reality is that the situation is not looking favorable for her and Ryan Reynolds at the moment, yet the bigger question remains. Do you think Blake will still manage to come out on top, or is she only digging herself a deeper hole with these maneuvers? Comment down below with your thoughts, and don't miss the next juicy video for even more developments.